City, where Kerry super kicks Roop, meets Laroy Hopkins to see if Roop can claim a U.S. title in the middleweight division as well. Sam Smith and Joe Corley were at ringside.
I think Kerry Roop has got to feel what it's like to be hit by Hopkins. I'll tell you, Hopkins can hit awfully hard, and when he's got his confidence pulled together, he can hurt you. Dennis Downey hurt his confidence a little bit when they fought. I think Roop will feel real early how strong this man is.
Both fighters again at 171. Kerry Roop, the older of the two, at 34, while Hopkins is only 23.
That's right, down. Take your time, Powerhouse. Get down, boy.
Another voice you'll be hearing at ringside probably most of this fight. Fred Cortatone across the way, the trainer-manager for Laroy Hopkins. Good right hand by Hopkins. Good counter kick that time by Kerry Roop. Coop walked into a big right hand. Hopkins going downstairs.
Roop has been knocked out. His jaw was broken by Jean-Yves Theriault. Emilio Narvaez, who was then the light heavyweight champion of the world, later dropped Kerry Roop with a right hand here in Atlantic City. Same way, he has been very susceptible to the right hand.
Uppercut, nicely done by Hopkins. Roop was not expecting that one. Roop's face already red with the punches by Hopkins.
We saw Kerry Roop in one of the shows that was taped earlier in the years is fighting Brad Hefton at 192 pounds. So now, some months later, he's down to 172, but he's got just as powerful a guy.
And he's through one round with Laroy Hopkins. We'll be back in a moment. Start round two. As Laroy Hopkins, again in the powder blue with the red stripe, comes out against Kerry Roop in the solid red with the black stripe. And a most impressive first round. Joe Corley by Hopkins.
Picks up.
As how did you score round number one?
I had a 10-9 Hopkins. He was very methodical. He looked for openings, created openings, and then took advantage of them. Right now, he's switched sides. Well, now he's going back to his left leg forward. He was fighting right leg forward at the beginning part of this round.
Strategy between rounds, Joe, from what you saw. Good left hand there by Hopkins. What's the strategy by both corners as they fight here in the second?
Kerry Roop needs to be taking the first move and doing something to draw Hopkins out and then take advantage of whatever opening he can create. Kerry Roop, some people have called predictable because you know when he decides to load up and come at you that you can hit him on the way in.
That predictability is what Hopkins will try to play on here in round two. Hopkins, the taller of the two, at 6'2". Roop at 5'10".
Down, right up and around. Hey, watch the holding.
Some of the fans and those in Hopkins' corner trying to play referee in lieu of J.T. Will.
Round the clock, Dave. One leg, drill it in, right there. That's it.
Half a minute to go in round two.
You know, I should mention for the fans that don't know this, that Kerry Roop was the light heavyweight champion of the world at one time. He's fought middleweight, light heavy, and light heavy. He simply resigned that title because he could not get the money that he wanted to defend the title, and he wanted to stay busy.
Closing seconds here of this second round.
Hands up, right up and around.
And busy Kerry Roop is, but he's got his hands full tonight.
Roop, predictable. You see that kick coming from a long way away. Hopkins, right leg forward, hits him with a right hand on the way in, and even moving to his right, lands another right hand.
Well, round number two has come to a close. This is round number three. They're set to go 9 for the United States Middleweight Championship here in Atlantic City at the Atlantis Casino Hotel. Joe, we fought two, scoring unofficially here at ringside. How have you seen it through 2 rounds?
I've got Hopkins winning each of the first 2 rounds 10-9, so I've got him leading by 2 points.
Good left hand by Hopkins, countering on a kick by Roop.
Watch the head. Watch the head.
Some people have advised Kerry Roop when he fights to lead his kicks, which are very powerful, with a punch. Stick a punch out in front of it, then kick. But the predictability comes when you don't do that, when you just throw a kick first, like he did then. Hopkins can see it coming and hit him on the way in. Remember, Kerry Roop beat Joe Louis to win the U.S. heavyweight title. Kerry Roop has good power. Roop
Get that arm off.
is just not as good at landing on target as he may need to be to catch Hopkins.
Now, Joe, he came down so quickly when he fought Michael Husbands and, of course, won that controversial decision. Now he's had a little more time to adapt to this weight that he's fighting at. Stamina may not be the real problem today, right?
We'll know as we get into the 5th or 6th round. Kerry is definitely fighting a more relaxed pace than he did in that last fight.
Arm off. Push out. Let's go.
Good left hand off the momentary holding by the two fighters by Kerry Roop.
Kick stop.
Roop waiting in the closing seconds of this 3rd round. Hopkins got Roop in trouble in the corner. Cannot be saved by the bell if Roop should go down. And Hopkins being off. What a 3rd round. Let's pick it up, Joe Corley, at the end of round 3.
It starts with the predictability. Roop coming in, no hand in front of it, gets hit. He gets in bad trouble there in the beginning. Hopkins stays calm and relaxed, trying to pinpoint his shots. Roop covers up as well as he can. Then you see him just dig way, way down, probably 50 feet into his gut, and come back to see what Hopkins is made of.
What an exchange at the end of the 3rd round.
You see Roop's shots are missing. Hopkins landing many of them in the beginning, most of them missing by both fighters at the end of the exchange.
You saw the eyes of both of these fighters as they come out to answer the bell for round 4.
Hear that buzzer.
And if round 3, at least the end of it's any indication, round 4 should be a dandy. Roop, as Joe pointed out, walked right into a right hand, but was able to counter and gets a couple of good shots in. It's a push, ruled by J.T. Will, no knockout.
Kerry Roop has acquired some fans here in Atlantic City, I'll tell you that.
Roop starting to dish out some punishment of his own.
Hopkins waiting for a clean shot now. This kind of fighting style by Dennis Downey got the better of Hopkins back when they fought in May.
There is one thing about fighters in our main events. They have the opportunity to see our ESPN tapes. And there's a big right hand that sent Hopkins down. The crowd on their feet. Hopkins is in trouble. J.T. Will get a standing 8 count. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hands up. He feels Hopkins is all right, and here comes Roop on the attack again.
Remember the 3 knockdown rule or 3 standing 8 count rule is waived in the U.S. title bout.
Oh, big right hand by Roop. Hopkins is out, and J.T. Will has stopped the fight. Laroy Hopkins sits warily in his corner, almost knocked senseless by Kerry Roop. What a display, Joe Corley, after almost being out at the end of the 3rd and coming back in the 4th round. What a heart this man must have.
Kerry Roop brought a heavyweight's heart in here with him. This is a thing that Laroy Hopkins has not been able to deal with thus far, is somebody turning it around on him like that.